Good day, everyone. It is a privileged opportunity to introduce this topic of ours to everyone here today. Today we want to discuss an influential artistic movement that revolutionized the way we perceive and create, or we call it Constructivism.
What is Constructivism art? Constructivism art is a modern art movement that emerged in Russia during the early 20th century. It was heavily influenced by the ideas of Russian Revolution and Marxist Revolution theory, which placed an emphasis on creative autonomy, individuality, and self-expression. This artistic style focused on the objective truth of the physical world rather than relying on the subjective emotions of imagination. This typically featured geometric shape and industrial materials such as wood, metal, and glass. By combining elements of painting, sculpture, architecture, and design into one unified artwork, Constructivism revolutionized our approach to creativity and abstraction in art.
Constructivism, though, emerged in the early 20th century. Constructivism was not just an art movement but a radical shift in artistic philosophy. It embraced geometric abstraction, industrial materials, and innovative techniques to create works that were not just visually compelling but also meaningful in shaping a new social order. Unlike traditional forms of art, which often emphasized personal expression, constructivism artists believe that art should serve a practical function in society.
Constructivism art sought to create a new type of art that was politically charged, socially engaged, and embodied the collective revolutionary spirits. They believe that art should be used as a tool for social change and revolution, and their works explore themes related to workers' rights, technology progress, and industrial productions, and societal transformations. This art movement was heavily influenced by the ideas and writings of Vladimir Tatlin and Alexander Rodchenko, who considered as one of the founder of constructivism art. They emphasized the idea that art should be constructed rather than traditionally composed, meaning it focused on creating practical and functional design rather than decorative or expressive works. These are the visual elements of constructivism art. First is the geometric shape and forms. Constructivism used geometric shape and forms to create artwork that embodies a collective revolution spirit. Artists like Alexander Rodchenko used industrial materials in combination with cubes, circles, squares, and other geometric shape to create abstract artworks that were seen as symbolic of the new era of Russian society. Next is use of industrial materials. Industrial materials are an integral part of constructivism art. Artists like Alexander Rodchenko use utilitarian materials like metal, glass, woods, and concrete to create abstract sculpture that acted as a visual expression. Lastly, bright primary colors and strong lines. Constructivism art used strong lines and bright primary colors like red and yellow to create bold visual statements.
These are some of the examples of constructivist artworks. First is Vladimir Tatlin's Tower 1919. Tatlin's Tower, also known as the Monument to the Third International, was Tatlin's design for a monumental building that was to be erected in St. Petersburg as the headquarters and monument of the Comintern Third International. It was envisioned as a towering symbol of modernity, built from industrial material like glass, steel, and iron. Though the tower was never realized, it has become one of the symbols of constructivism. And the next one is L. Lissitzky's Throne Room, 1923. Throne Room is an installation of dynamic abstract forms that appear to be floating and which are meant to activate the viewer, propelling them around the space. And last but not the least, Alexander Rodchenko's books are pleased in all branches of knowledge, 1924. This iconic constructivist artwork depicts a woman shouting the words in the title of Peace in sharp linear forms. This gives the artwork a sonic dimensions.
So these are some famous constructivism artists. First is Vladimir Tatlin. He was a key figure in Russian constructivism, blending art, architecture, and technology to serve modern and revolutionary purposes. Influenced by Picasso's Cubist, collages, and Russian Futurism, he moved away from traditional painting to focus on material-based sculpture, emphasizing the natural properties of metal, glass, and wood. Alexander Rodchenko. He was a key avant-garde artist who dedicated his work to the Russian Revolution, transitioning from painting to constructivism and later abandoning fine art for industrial and political design. Influenced by Futurism, Suprematism, and Constructivism, he experimented with various media, including painting, sculpture, graphic design, and photography. Pioneered modern photography with bold angles and dynamic compositions. L. Lissitzky. He was a Russian avant-garde artist who used art as a tool for social change, creating the first abstract work with a political message. Influenced by Suprematism and Kazimir Malevich, he employed geometric shapes and colors to convey strong political ideas. His innovative bronze series merged painting and architecture, reflecting his belief in the integration of artistic disciplines. Barbara Spanova. She was a pioneering Russian avant-garde artist, designer, and theorist closely associated with constructivism. She embraced geometric abstraction and sought to merge art with everyday life, aligning her work with the ideals of the Russian Revolution. Stepanova worked across various media, including painting, graphic design, typography, textile design, and stage production, emphasizing functionality and mass production. She was instrumental in developing Soviet propaganda posters and innovative clothing designs that reflected the efficiency of industrial production. A collaborator with her husband, Lyubov Popova. She was a revolutionary Russian artist and designer who embraced abstraction, geometry, and movement in her work. Influenced by Cubism, Futurism, and Suprematism, she sought to align work with the industrial and egalitarian ideals of the 1917 Russian Revolution. She expanded beyond painting into textiles, theater sets, and graphic design, believing art should be practical and accessible.
Techniques and mediums. Constructivism artists primarily use industrial materials such as metal, glass, and wood. They often employ geometric shapes and abstract forms in their work. They also experimented with new techniques such as photomontage and collage. Industrial materials. Constructivists embrace industrial materials like metal, glass, and wood, reflecting their focus on functionality and modernity. Geometric abstraction. Constructivist artwork are often feature geometric shapes and abstract forms, emphasizing structure and order. Photomontage and collage. These techniques allowed artists to combine different images and materials, creating dynamic and visually engaging composition. Typography and graphic design. Constructivists also made significant contribution to typography and graphic design, creating poster, book covers, and other visual materials that reflect their aesthetic principle. Mediums. Poster and graphic design. Constructivists were pioneers in graphic design, using their techniques in poster, book covers, and advertisement. Sculpture. Unlike traditional sculptures, constructivist works were built rather than carved, often using industrial materials such as steel, wood, and glass. These sculptures were more like engineered structures, emphasizing modernity and functionality. Architecture. Constructivism had a major influence on modern architecture, favoring simple geometric shapes, functional design, and industrial materials. Building often featured asymmetrical forms and open, spacious interior that reflect their revolutionary ideas.